I have the privilege to be in a Hall of Fame foosball player's home today. This is some of the stuff that he has. There's his name, Mr. Steve Simon. Been playing foosball for longer than most people have been playing foosball. See, he's around here somewhere. There he is. What's up, buddy? How's it going?
How you doing, Carlos?
How you been these days?
Pretty busy. Got a lot of stuff happening.
I hear you got a new foosball table out.
Yep, finally. We're ready to show it. It's been a long journey, as you know. And we kind of announced it this weekend with the BART tournament.
How long have you been playing foosball?
Well, boy, I go back a long way. We started playing in '69 at Fort Sim Houston Base in San Antonio. I wasn't in the military, but I was about 12 or 13, and we used to go there on Sundays. And they had a foosball table in the back, and the kids would go back there and play, and I played GIs from Germany and Italy that brought the game over. So I started playing in 40 years. Can you believe that?
That's a long time. That's
a long time.
Did you take a lot of money back then from those guys?
Well, no, they were good. You know, I was a kid. You got to pay your dues. You know, you start out. It was a kind of an old Vulcan type table. You know, but no, I didn't.
For the people who might not know who you are, can you tell us what's your claim to fame?
Well, '69, I started. Foosball picked up in Texas, and I had my breakthrough year in '75. I won the San Antonio City Championship, the Texas State, the Tornado Nationals, and then the Tournament Soccer Nationals, all in '75. So I was Tornado Singles National Champion and Tournament Soccer Singles National Champion all together. It's like winning on grass and clay.
Yeah, exactly. It really is. It's easy to compare foosball to tennis in that sense because there's so many tables that you can play on. Mm-hmm. It's just like going from grass to clay to a cement court. You have to adjust to it. And I remember back when Dynamo started going by the wayside and Tornado started taking up the reins. I wasn't around when that happened with tournament soccer and Dynamo, but I wasn't playing back then, so I wasn't really familiar with what was going on. But I was right in the middle of it when the transition went to Tornado. And a lot of players just didn't want to switch over. Dynamo players and Tornado players, they didn't, for some reason, like going to another table, which I didn't think was, I couldn't understand that. You know, if you're a foosball player, you like foosball, it doesn't matter what table you play on, you just have to adjust.
Well, that's kind of what I thought. I mean, if you can play, you can play, right?
Obviously, if you went on three different tables in the same year.
Well, but there are certain characteristics you pick up that are better on a table over another one, and you can actually limit yourself because of that. And a lot of the Tornado players, which, as we know through today, builds a very loyal following. And they had a hard time coming over to the tournament soccer tables. They had solid rods, the men, they complained a lot. But it didn't hurt some of us. Johnny Lott did it, I did it, Gary File. But some didn't want to make the transition. They didn't. And that's just what happened.
And I think that foosball in general suffered because of that, too. Because there's still a lot of foosball players out there and that don't play anymore because they don't like this table or don't like that table or didn't in the past, and then they stop playing.
Well, the Tornado table won out the race, you might say. They survived into the 80s and into the 90s. Dave Currington kept them going, kept promoting. That was all there was to play. Johnny Lott tried some things and had some great ideas for whatever reason that just didn't pan out. But to have the Tornado as the only table to play on can actually limit the game.
Really?
I won't say limit the game. It keeps it in a certain style. And that's what it's all about, style and feel. The Tornado has always had a certain style and feel. And even now, it's got a different style and feel than back then because of the bearing changes and different things.
Right.
A lot of players didn't like the feel. But anyway, if you could play, really, you could almost play on any table, but only a few percentage could master all the tables. Let's put it that way.
And you know, that's so true. And a good observation to make on that is that in America, we only have one table. Well, we have two tables now with Warrior out there to play on. But forever, it's just been Tornado. In Europe, they have, handfuls of tables that they play on all the time, and they all adjust. And I noticed going to these major tournaments all the time that the European players, when they come over, they adjust better to our style of play than we do to their style of play. And I think it's because we've only had the one table to play on.
Right. Well, we had those same players back in the 70s when we had the Tournament Soccer Tour. Of course, even before the tour, at one time there was a lot of different table manufacturers, but they were all Texas-style tables, similar. So you could go from one to the other and adjust. Now, whoops. Shit.
Hey, no cussing. It's a family show.
Hello. Who? No, you got the wrong number. We'll cut this off. You didn't tell me to turn off all cell phones before the event. All right, here we go. Strike that expletive. Anyway,
I'll beep it
there
out.
was a lot of tables back then, and you could go from table to table, but they were similar. The European style tables, from what I can see, I haven't played on a lot of them, are similar. But the point I'm trying to make is back then, when we were all at the peak, the Europeans were playing back then too. I mean, foosball's not necessarily new to Europe. And they came over, their good players, and played our good players back then. And we had a lot more really high-level players, in my opinion. I'm from the old school. But we killed them. Their style of play just did not hold up to what we had taken the game to on the tournament soccer and Tornado level. We beat them bad, 5-2, 5-3, 5-2. We beat them 3-0, 3-1, 3-0. But they went back, and I think they learned some things, and possibly it helped them. But all I know is at the point in time I played, when we played the Europeans, we beat them all, easily.
Do you plan on, I know you don't play much anymore, do you plan on ever playing again?
Well, with this new table, I'll play on it. And I'll play any of these people. I'd like to. Of course, I may be fooling myself, but I don't think the old players are really that far out, believe it or not, but I'm partial to what we know. We have certain knowledge that a lot of the current players don't know. But what's the incentive to come back? I mean, I really don't have anything to prove. I had my day to prove. Lott, Bowers, we had our day to prove what we could do, and now it's just not enough incentive. If we had a little incentive, we might come, and some of the older players didn't like the current feel and play of the Tornado. And I'm not saying the Tornado's bad, I'm saying it had a different feel. And we weren't used to that feel, so we didn't want to play. And maybe with this table, it might bring some of these people back. I'd like to see it.
That'd be
Of
nice.
course, we're older now. So I don't know, but maybe in foosball you can play into your 60s. We'll all know soon.